Hey y'all, what's up, light beings? I'm back. I'm on the table this morning. Well, I don't know. Yeah, this morning. I'm on the table this morning, y'all, and y'all, like last night, I didn't, I didn't really sleep well. However, I really didn't sleep bad either, and I was kind of dreaming. I kind of had like this slight headache too. I'm just like, bro, I'm really going through the motions today. Um, however, I woke up and the movie, because I left my TV on last night, and I normally don't even sleep with the TV on. Hell, I barely even watch my TV. But I turned the TV on last night just to have, like I said, background noise, and I woke up this morning, y'all, and the word fear, F.E.A.R. It was really prevalent to me, and I was like, why is this word coming up? And I'm like, I know for me personally, sorry y'all, personally for me, I I used to and I'm glad I'm saying it, I used to have difficulties in the realms of fear, of being fearful or afraid, right? And since then, I'm not afraid of nothing now. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. You know, somebody trying to rap go it. It's really nothing to be afraid of, right? It's really all in your mind. Fear is false evidence appearing real. However, it was something prevalent about that word that sat with me, and I was just like, God, what is this? Why can't I get past this feeling? And I'm like, I know it's not my feeling or my energy. I know it's something that you want me to speak on. I just where are you taking me with this? Like, right, where is this going? And I'm like, okay, you have me, I'm sitting in, like, it's like I'm cradled or sitting in someone else's energy. Like I'm sitting in like this bubble or this cocoon or something in someone else's energy. So I'm like encased in it, and I'm looking around, and I can feel the intensity of the emotion. And so, me being me and my consciousness and my awareness, I'm like, this ain't real. I know this shit ain't real. However, whoever I'm picking up or whatever energy I'm picking up on, this person does not know this. This person is afraid. This person is fearful. This person is it's like they're just, I don't know. That shit, it's a heavy feeling. Um, and it's almost like a gut wrenching feeling. Like it's like it's like they're afraid of the outcome. They're anticipating the outcome. It's like they don't know what to expect, and they're just like, "What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What's gonna happen?" And it's like they're consumed with it, right? Fear consumes you because of how much energy you exude toward it, or how much energy you put into it, right? Like how much you pay attention to whatever it is that you are in quote unquote fear of. It is a projection of an anticipated outcome with uncertainty, right? It's false evidence, it's not real. Now, for those unhealed individuals, when you are experiencing fear, it's like astronomical, right? It's just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like I said, it's an anticipation of an outcome. And or it's a anticipation of a unforeseen or uncertain outcome. And so when you act or you respond or you act or respond or move a certain way because you do not know what the outcome is going to be, or you do not know what to expect, which in turns builds up anxiety, and then it puts you in a state of I'm hearing atrophy, right? Like where you're like breaking down, like you're breaking down, or you're tearing yourself down, or you're being torn down, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, like you're tearing yourself down because of this anticipation of a feeling that has not actually, or anticipation of an outcome that has not actually happened yet, right? So it's like, again, fear, false evidence appearing real. And so I was like, God, What is this and why am I picking this up? And so I'm like, somebody's afraid. Who is afraid and why are they afraid? And what do they have to be afraid of? Is there anything really worth them exuding this energy towards it? And I'm just like, I was sitting with it and I was like, all right, well, let me get my notebook and write it down. And so I grabbed my notebook and I wrote the word and then I wrote false evidence appearing real and then blank, blank. Yet I'm still feeling this energy and I'm feeling this emotion. So I'm like, yo, it got to be something that you want me to, because why am I feeling it, right? And so I sat with it, and I've been sitting with it pretty much most of this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm not about to sit here and stay in this energy. That ain't my shit. Right? It's not my energy. So I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna disregard it because it's important. Otherwise, it wouldn't have came up. So I was like, all right, let me go see if I need to pour some cards on it, right? And instantly I went to my spiritual scriptures deck and I pulled out the scriptures and I started shuffling the deck. I'm like, all right, God, give me the scripture that the person or persons may need to, you know, resonate with, or they may need to like go look at or go meditate on or go study to give them some courage in that moment, right? And so two cards came out and in the bottom of the deck. The first scripture, Colossians 3:13. Forbearing one another and forgiving one another, if any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, also do ye. And that connects to that forgiveness is key card that I was using before from the Love Tarot deck or the Love Oracle deck. And I was just like, okay, that popped in my mind when I read that card. And I was like, okay, we always have to exercise in forgiveness. I just watched a short and a gentleman was saying there's 4 steps to forgiveness. The first thing when you forgive, you want to forgive others, right? No, he said, what did he say? It was 4 of them. He said, forgive others, forgive yourself, forgive your parents. He said, forgive your parents, forgive others, forgive yourself, and then apologize, right? Those are the 4 steps that you need to take when you're exercising in forgiveness. Forgive your parents. Your parents do not know, like, they don't know what you're going through, but they do to a degree, right? Because they've experienced it to a degree. But you have to understand, I'm not going to say but I cancel, but however, you have to understand whatever your parents endured, they endured that through their lives. So when they project onto you to teach you and guide you, they're projecting from their perspective of what they experienced, of what they have been programmed or what they have digested, what they have taken in or taken on, and now they are exuding that energy towards you to raise you. That's not to say that they're right. That's not to say they're wrong. It's what they were subjected to. So now they are subjecting you to what they were subjected to. Some parents are able to say, you know what, I was treated this way when I was a kid, so I'm not going to treat y'all like this. I'm going to raise my kids this way. And some parents was like, well, my mama did this, so I'm going to do this to you too. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my daddy did this, or whatever the case may be, whoever you was raised by. So it's like a trickle down effect of, uh, it's a trickle down effect of like generational curses, right? A generational treatment, generational genocide, generational mindset. It's passed down, right? It's a generational norm or acceptance. And we have to learn how to see our parents as people, not just a parent. See them as the people or persons that they are and forgive them for they did the best that they thought they did the best they could do, right? Then he said, forgive others. When you forgive others, that means you're not holding any grudges. You're letting it all the fuck go. Everything that happened to you, everything that somebody did to you, every way that somebody treated you, crossed you, cut you, hurt you, stabbed you, whatever. It was all done for a reason. Whether you agree with the reasons or not, it was all done for a reason, and it shaped it. It shaped and molded you and to the person that you currently are, whether you want to give credit to it or not, right? For every action, there's a reaction. There's a chain reaction, right? So, although these persons may have done things to you to cause you traumas or whatever the case may be, forgive them. The forgiveness is not for them. The forgiveness is for you, right? It's allowing you to release and let go of past hurts, past pains, past behaviors. It's allowing you to let go of that old version of you, that old mindset of you, that old vision of how you saw that person, that old perspective of how you saw that person. That person did X, Y, Z, P, D, Q. Okay, they do that to me. They may not do this to the next person. I forgive you for everything you ever done to me. I forgive you for crossing me the whole nine, because the last thing I want to do is move into my next chapter or next phase of my life holding a grudge against you because of what you did to me. Now, that's not saying that you have to give them back access to you or allow them to continue to be in your life and do the things they were doing. No, you establish a firm, clear-cut boundary. I give you forgiveness to what you did. However, moving forward, you and I will no longer be benefit. You and I are no longer, as close as, because once you burn a bridge, you can't just build that bitch back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can rebuild a new bridge. However, at the same time, and building a new bridge is never going to be the same, right? It's always going to be different. It's always going to be something different about it, right? Then you want to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not being the version of yourself that you currently are now, right? When you were going through that experience, when you were going through that trial and tribulation, when you were having that issue or whatever situation or scenario that was happening to you at that time, you were the best version of you that you could have been in that moment, right? You had to go through that experience to learn who you are now. So forgive yourself for not being the better version of yourself. Forgive yourself for not operating at the best possible version that you could have been at that time. Because sometimes we do stoop low. Like, I'm a match energy. I'm fucking. We're not matching energy over here. No, we're not doing that. I'm not going to stoop to a low vibration to meet you where you at, to go back and forth with you or argue with you and things. I'm not doing that shit. Look, friend, go be free. God bless and God keep you. Whatever happens to you by God's will, not my own. Right? Let the universe handle it. Because when you start putting yourself in that situation, what happens is you take yourself out of your vibrational frequency where you're supposed to be. You take yourself out of alignment, and now you are caught up in some shit that you ain't got to be in. You exude energy in areas that you ain't got to exude energy in. Forgive yourself for your actions, your behaviors where you were not operating at your optimal self, so that you can move on. Make the decision or choice to move differently moving forward, right? And last but not least, ask for forgiveness. Even if they say I don't forgive you, the fact that you ask for forgiveness from whomever you crossed or whomever you hurt or whomever you may have done dirty, whatever, ask for forgiveness. Whether you ask them directly to their face or whether you just say a prayer and ask for forgiveness and ask God to forgive you for your sins, whatever the case may be, ask for forgiveness of yourself and really forgive yourself, right? Really, really, really humble yourself. Hold on. Really humble yourself so that you can receive your blessings. Because you can't receive your blessings if you arrogant. You can't receive your blessings if you're boastful. You can't receive your blessings if you're a-hole. All right? That's not the kind of energy you want to hold on to. Right? And so Colossians 3:13 is tapping on that, right? Forbearing one another and forgiving one another, if any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, also do ye. So, like, forgive others because you want somebody to forgive you, right? It's like going back to that parable: treat people the way you want to be treated, despite whether they treat you that way or not. You maintain your character, your dignity, your integrity by being who you truly honestly want to be and not allowing someone else to trigger you or cause you to step outside of yourself. Okay. The second card that came out when I did the biblical card pull or the scripture card pull was Psalms 27:12. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Whom shall I be afraid? So if you, this is about to be, I feel like this is going to be heavy. Okay. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Because I was like, really, I'm sorry, y'all. When you begin to establish a relationship with God, you build that relationship off of trust, right? Your relationship with God is trust in the truth. Because God is, he said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. Right? I am the way, the truth, and the light. So if God is the way, the truth, and the light, what do I have to be afraid of? I'm walking in my truth. I'm speaking my truth. I'm operating in my truth. Now, my truth might not be your truth. That doesn't mean my truth is wrong. And why should I be fearful or afraid of being myself? Why should I be fearful of being what God created me to be? I was watching another video where the lady was talking about how we shrink ourselves because people cannot digest us, or people cannot, thrive or be around us. Y'all, the car is talking now. The car is talking. We shrink ourselves so that we can be, what's the word I'm looking for, Lord? We shrink ourselves so that we can be tolerated, right? So we can be ingested, so that we can fit in, so that we don't rub people the wrong way. Why am I shrinking myself to make you feel comfortable? If you are uncomfortable with me being in my greatness, that's not my problem. That's yours. Why do we tend to feel like it's okay for us to be uncomfortable so that the next person can be okay with how they feeling? Like, I'm all for empathizing and sympathizing and understanding another person's situation or scenario, whatever the case may be. I'm all for that. However, at the same time, why is it okay for me to chip away at me so that you can be okay with you? That's not my job to make you okay with you. You have to do the work to make you okay with you. I shouldn't have to compromise myself and who I am and who I was created to be so that you can be comfortable with being you. That's your problem. And we have a tendency to make other people's problems our problems. And I said that in one of my videos. I was like, yo, when you're really going through something you feel like you lost or you scared or you're afraid, pray. Because we don't always have the answers, right? Not right up front or right away. We don't always have the answers. You need to get that help from God. From God's source energy. Right? And I'm going to read the last card. And we're about to get into this reading because we already had 17 minutes. Okay? When I flipped the deck over to go put the cards back, Mark 11:24 was on the bottom. It said, therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. So if you are in fear and you are operating in fear, that means you are not trusting. You're not believing that you are deserving of what it is that you are desiring in your heart. You are trusting and believing in the fear and the desire that you have instilled in your heart, or that you have planted or rooted in your mind. And now you're pushing it out. And now it's coming back to you and you don't know how to deal with it. I don't want to feel this. I don't like this. You're calling it to yourself. Stop calling it to yourself. And you won't have that problem, right? It's easier said than done. Now, when I flipped this over, the card I saw in my mind was illumination, but these shit say hunger. You have to hunger for the truth, right? You have to hunger for a difference. You have to hunger for a change. And I was talking to myself because he was like, "Ma, how do you not be afraid to be yourself?" And I said, "Sweetheart, that's a very good question." I said, "What I had to learn to do was to take down the mask one at a time, right?" I actually used to write in my journal, what am I afraid of? And I would get all these, it was like a flood of answers just fly in my head. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, yo. I'm like, nope. Let's just take our time, write each one down. I'm afraid of this. 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 Okay, let's go back and explore. Why are you afraid of this? Well, I'm afraid of this because it always goes back to something that stemmed from your childhood or your youth. or through the process of you growing up and evolving and becoming a young adult to an adult, right? An ideation, right? It comes from an ideation, an idea, right? When I asked the question and I got the answer, then I was like, well, why do I still feel that it happened? They saying cleanse. Y'all, hold up, because pause, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I had to pause for a second. My daughter came down here. It's like they always wait till I'm getting ready to record to want to come and do stuff. um, Before I pause, I don't even remember exactly what I was saying, but I definitely know we were talking about fear and understanding the ideation and understanding that it starts or stems from an idea, right? What is the idea that you have locked in your mind that this is what it is? And how do you address it? And like I say, you have to go through those stages of addressing and working on your fear, right? And when you start to go through that and you start to take the time to recognize the ideas that you have or the thoughts that you're allowing yourself to think or the emotions that you're allowing yourself to feel and you start to rectify it and correct it, that is when you start to cleanse, right? You start to cleanse and she vacuuming, Lord. You start to cleanse and detox or declutter the old versions of you, the old soundtrack that runs in your mind that tells you that things are going to be this way or things should be that way, the old repetitive thought processes that run in the background, right? I'll never be enough. I'll never be able to do this, or you ain't gonna amount to shit, or this is whatever soundtrack that's playing in the background of your mind that is making you think those thoughts. You are the only person that can cancel it. You're the only person that can control those thoughts. And sometimes they're so embedded in us and it's so ingrained in us that it becomes habitual so that we don't really understand our real strength, right? We don't really know our true strength, our true power. The more you do something over and over and over again, right? Strength. The more you do something over and over and over again, the stronger it becomes, right? That's like or the more repetitive it becomes, like gripping a pencil when you're a baby or when you're small, when you're in school. When you first learn how to grip, you're learning how to squeeze your hand, right? Babies originally are born with that reflex. However, over time they lose that reflex and they begin to build motor skills, right? Cognitive fine motor skills, physical fine motor skills that allow them to be able to wiggle and grab and touch and explore with their hand. And the more that they're able to do that, the stronger the muscle memory, the stronger the ideation, the stronger the connection to whatever it is that they're doing. It makes it so much so that it is like the foundation of who and what they are. And it's the same thing with a thought. It's the same thing with a feeling. It's the same thing when it comes to operating in fear. We habitualize fear in our everyday function, everyday function. So basically, we're repeating it. We repeat things. We repeat cycles. Repetitiveness is how we learn and how we grow. It's also how we evolve. If you pay attention to our history, the quote unquote history that they teach us of the history of the world, how many times have we repeated the same cycle and still got the same result? Because we have not really changed. We have not really evolved. So now is the time for us to really do that. A lot of times when we're operating out of pain, out of brokenness. Pain is brokenness. Pain is hurt feelings. It's sadness. It's the epitome of not being heard, not being felt, not being acknowledged, not being seen. It's pain is being ignored. It's the ignorance and absence of love, right? And when we operate in fear, we're operating in the ignorance and absence of love for ourselves. Confirmation, right? That means we're not loving ourselves. We're not seeing ourselves. We're not understanding ourselves. We're not giving ourselves grace. We're not believing in ourselves. We're not encouraging ourselves to believe or know or even just act on anything that we really want to act on. We're stunning and stopping ourselves. And it's funny because people be real quick to pass it by. It's your fault. And they did this to me, so I can't. No. Just because somebody did something to you doesn't mean that you don't no longer have a choice. You always have a choice. You always have an option to do something different. Like I said, for every action, there is a reaction or a response, right? So just because somebody says something to you or somebody does something to you or somebody mistreats you or somebody abuses you does not mean that you have to stay stuck in that phase or that chapter or that cycle of your life. Explore that pain. Explore how it made you feel. Explore how you want to feel going forward. It's not easy. I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, I was molested by my cousin. Right? I was psychologically traumatized. Right? Sorry on my lip. My mind was fucked up. I had so many questions. Why did he do this to me? Why did the people around allow it to happen? Why didn't I pay attention and not go downstairs when I knew I wasn't supposed to be down there no way? Right? Why was it okay for them to say what they saying and why didn't nobody believe me when I told the truth? I had so many questions. Why does he hate me? Did he hate me? Right? Did he just, what was the purpose of it? I had all these questions. And then because I had no answer, I had no way to respond. I sat with it. I internalized it. I'm no good. I'm just an object of someone's affection. Right? I don't deserve to be treated with courtesy and kindness and respect. Right? These are the things I started telling myself. These are things I started to believe. And then anytime somebody told me, you're such a beautiful young lady, oh, you're so pretty, instant, clammed up, fear. That fear is, I don't want to feel that pain again. I don't want to go through that experience again. I don't want to go through that mindset again. Although I was still locked in. Now I'm shielding myself. I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to guard myself. I'm going to put up defense mechanisms now. I'm going to find a way to cope so that I can, because I'm still alive. I'm still living. I'm still moving around. I still have to function in this so-called society, right? Right? I'm holding this pain because it's based off this idea. Well, maybe I deserved it, right? Who the fuck deserves to be hurt? Nobody, right? I developed that ideation. Those ideations stemmed from that experience, from that pain, from that trauma. And because I had no way of knowing how to work through it or heal it, I was stuck with it for a long time. And then it started showing up in different areas of my life at different ages and different stages. I went through high school and I was angry, right? I went through an angry phase in high school. Fuck this, fuck that. Yes, I was on one. I went through an extreme angry phase. I don't give a fuck what this would say, what that would say. I had no boyfriend in high school. I tried to beat his ass. You gonna do what? You treating me how? Especially it's the way I don't want to be treated after because I'm still holding on to what happened to me when I was little. And that's not the only experience. I had several experiences that happened to me growing up. Right? It was just like piling on. By the time I got to high school, I ain't letting nobody do that. I don't give a fuck if I get suspended. Fuck that. I was on one. Mind you, I've only been suspended one time in my whole life. However, and that was for fighting. You feel me? And I'm not even no fighter for real. But you're not about to put your hands on me and I'm not going to protect myself. You feel what I'm saying? That's all the way dead. My mom used to always tell me that. Somebody hit you, hit their ass back. And if they bigger than you, you pick up something and knock the shit out their ass. And you don't give up. You keep going. Even if you beat up, you keep going. Yes, ma'am. Right? So it's like, even though I experienced that, I had to learn to find that strength. I had to learn to cleanse myself the best way I could by establishing coping mechanisms, right? To allow me to find the strength to keep moving forward. Because if I stay where I was at, I'm not growing. I'm not evolving, right? Now, that's not saying that even with me doing the work, that I was okay. I was still in pain, right? I was still hurting on the inside. I was still that scared little lost girl in the dark trying to find her way because somebody that stole my life. Somebody that stole my joy. Somebody that took my peace. Somebody that upset my whole vibrational frequency. Put me on some shit that I wasn't even ready to be on. Right? Now I'm addicted to wanting to feel pleasure and shit. I'm searching for it. I want this feeling again. This part felt good. I was abused. This part felt good. That was horrible, but this part felt good. Psychologically sounding crazy, right? Right? When I started exploring my sexuality and wanting to understand myself, I had to learn to establish a relationship with myself first. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to love your body. It's okay to touch your body. It's okay to explore your body. It's okay to feel the different parts of your body and see what the different parts of your body feel like. Right? It's okay to give into yourself and indulge in yourself. You have to have boundary with it though. Right? You don't want to be addicted to this feeling, addicted to this emotion. No. You have to have boundaries, right? And I had to learn how to grow up. And one of the biggest things in that was forgiving him. I didn't find out until I didn't have the conversation again until I was 34 years old. When I was about 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old when it happened. Told the truth right there on the spot. Mother didn't believe me. I felt invisible. Right? I felt like they failed me. Y'all failed me. I'm invisible. I ain't here no one. No, fuck that. I'm here. Fuck you mean. I didn't have that conversation with my mother again and bring that situation up again in my life until I was 34 years old. 34. And I said, Mom, do you remember when I was about 5 or 6 years old and such molested me and you didn't do nothing about it? And my mom looked at me, what the fuck you talking about? What are you talking about? I said, Mommy, you don't remember that? She's like, why are you making that up? Why would I make something like that up? I told you the truth when it happened. You didn't believe me. And you always told me if somebody touched me, if somebody do this, to tell you. And I did exactly what you told me to do. And you didn't do nothing. You didn't believe me. I felt like you failed me at that point in time. And my mother revealed to me, well, sweetheart, I didn't know what to do because I was molested too. Go fucking figure, right? It's like, I said, Mommy, why you never told nobody? I didn't know. She didn't even realize that she was being molested. She was thinking that what was happening to her was a part of her actual upbringing of how you're supposed to raise a child. And then the crazy part is she was being molested by a fucking girl. So not only was she confused sexually, she was confused gender-wise. She didn't know if she liked girls or boys or what. She had to explore herself to figure out confirmation. She had to explore herself to figure out who she was on the inside to determine what she was attracted to. She had to learn. And it's crazy that we condemn people. We condemn people who are down low, or we condemn people who are gay or lesbian, or who identify as certain sex. How you going to tell them how the fuck to feel about themselves? Who the fuck are you? Like, you don't know what they're experiencing and feeling on the inside of them. So how you going to tell them they're wrong for feeling how the fuck they feel? They feelings. Right? And what I'm learning is that in order for you to grow, you got to accept it. Growth comes with acceptance. Realizing and recognizing, okay, yes, this did happen to me. Yes, I did. I participated in to a degree, even though it was against my will. I was there. I fought. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just let the shit go down. I fought. I used to tell myself, you so weak. I used to tell myself, you so weak. You couldn't even protect your own body. You so weak. You couldn't even protect your own mind. You so weak. You couldn't even stop this situation. I think I was fine. The fuck? My mind didn't know that. By the time I got to being a teen and a young adult, my mind wasn't processing it. I was living in fear, right? I had built up these walls, these barriers. I'm gonna protect myself. I'm gonna show myself. Ain't nobody never gonna. I had to learn how to soften myself. I had to have a thirst, a hunger for something new. And I'm telling you my story because I feel like my story is important for somebody out there who is afraid to move forward, who is afraid to own and acknowledge what happened to them. Whether it was in your control or not, own that shit. Take your power back. You take your power back by taking ownership of your part in the situation and forgiving yourself, forgiving your parents, forgiving the persons that betrayed you or crossed you, forgiving yourself, and asking for forgiveness. Okay? Now, when I got old enough to really realize, like, oh shit, I was really at, and I really wanted to make peace, I said, I don't want to walk around with this shit no more. I don't want to hold it anymore. Why did it happen? Let me go back and actually start doing some research and kind of find out whole time my cousin did the shit to me because he was watching it being done to his own damn sister. He was being made to watch the shit. He was being made to experience it. Meaning he was being taught to do this shit. So naturally, he's thinking this is what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I was shown. And children are impressionable beings. We're impressionable when we're young because we are exploring the world. We're learning. We're gaining information and knowledge. We're growing as youth. Even after a youth and you become an adult, you're still growing. Just because you're 30, 40, 50, 60, you're still growing. Every day that you wake up is an opportunity for you to grow. And you're waking up, and that's a blessing in itself because when you wake up and you're able to see another day, it's because you did something right the day before. You're getting another opportunity to try again. All right? And most of us, we have a hunger to keep going. Even though we are in turmoil and we're sad and we feel broken and we feel dismayed and we're just distraught and distorted, the fact that we keep moving shows that we have a hunger for life. Those of us that succumb to death, because death, it lets us know. Let me back up. Because what I'm getting from this card is not necessarily what I was getting ready to say. So I told y'all, I only want to speak what God wants me to speak. I don't want to go beyond what God wants me to say. Right? Now, the death card is bringing it to a close. It's taking a stand. It's saying no more. No longer will I feel this way. No longer will I think this way. No longer will I act this way. No longer will I repeat this cycle. No longer will I allow people to do these things to me because that means I have to learn to love myself. I'm going to establish some boundaries. What's a boundary? A boundary is a protective gear or guard, safeguard to protect yourself. Like they say, you teach people how to treat you by way of how you treat yourself. When I started to really understand my power, I said, I'm not giving my power away. You know why? Talking to people that you don't even like, giving your power away. Sometimes just sitting in the vicinity of people that you don't fuck with, sometimes is giving your power away. Allowing someone to make you feel uncomfortable, giving your power away. You letting them rent space in your head. Sometimes they don't even know that they're making you feel that way. Right? Sometimes you're feeling that way because of past hurts, past pains that you haven't dealt with. And now you sitting here putting somebody on the pedestal of your mind or planting this seed of this person in your mind. Now you stuck and you running cycles. Every day we run the rat race. How the fuck we doing it to ourselves? Like real shit. You have to bring it to an end. When you start bringing it to a close and you start taking your power back, God will rebirth you. Like they say, born again. Pick up your cross and burn. Right? Picking up your cross and burn it means picking up your burden is recognizing what your part in it. Owning your shit and walking with it. And saying, yeah, this happened. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that's mine. That's all me. Oh, yeah, I was embarrassed. That's all me. I did some shit that I'm not proud of. We all have. Who the fuck hasn't? None of us are perfect, right? I said it before. We are perfectly imperfect people. We're perfectly imperfect beings, right? So it's like understanding your imperfection so that you can correct it for you, for your well-being. And the persons or people that are supposed to be around you, they will take to you. You'll begin to attract those, that are in the same likeness of you. Right. And when God says, okay, I'm gonna grant you this new opportunity, y'all, when I tell you it's a mystery, it's a mystery. You don't know what the fuck to expect. What is entailed for you? And the crazy part is that I'm gonna get real philosophical on you now. Your soul chose the path that it's on. I'm gonna pause y'all. Okay. I ain't gonna front y'all. I forgot the last thing I said to y'all. I hate when that happens. I have to pause and I gotta go do something and I come back. I'm like, wait. Um, I forgot the last thing I said to y'all. But I'm gonna keep going though. Right. The next thing is balance. Right. Balance. How are you gonna balance it out? How do you balance it out? How do you find the answers? How do you find the key? Like when you're in the darkness and in the mystery of not knowing the outcome of what it's gonna be, yeah, that shit is frightening. Right? It's extremely frightening. You don't understand, you don't know. What I'm learning is to sit in that darkness and be the light. Right? Find the balance within yourself. Find the truth within yourself. Is it true that I lied? Yeah, I lied before. Is it true that I stole before? Yeah, I've stolen before. I stole a piece of candy at the damn store and got caught. Crazy part was, the fucking store owner knew my parents. He was nice enough not to even call my parents. He's like, look, get your ass out of here if I call your mother and them, let them know you around here stealing out the goddamn store. Sorry. And our parents go to that store every day. They knew our parents by name. So like, why the fuck we ain't doing this stupid shit? Right? Ownership of self. Ownership of behaviors. Ownership of actions. Ownership of your truth is where your power lies. Right? Let somebody run space in your head and dictate to you and tell you how, or make you feel uncomfortable, make you feel some kind of way. That's giving your power away. That's agreeing to something that you really don't agree to. That's shrinking yourself to agree to be small because somebody wants you to be small. Fuck you. Find the balance, right? You have to learn how to balance your good and your bad. Because, like I said, none of us is fucking perfect. We all do bad shit. Let he who was without sin cast ye the first stone. And I don't see nobody throwing rocks. Then you got niggas throwing their rocks trying to hide their hand. You know what I'm saying? That's different though. You know what I'm saying? Because once what's done in the dark, it's definitely gonna come to life. So if you doing shit and you thinking you're not gonna get caught, baby, you got another thing coming. I told you, we're always being watched. You know what I'm saying? We're always being watched and observed for our actions, whether we know it or not. Okay? And when you find balance in things, that means you're learning how to accept your good and accept your bad. You're learning how to accept your yeses and your nos. You're learning how to maneuver and matriculate through the matrix in this thing we call life. You're learning how to identify your true path, your true calling, and wake up to yourself so that you can wake up to others. And then in turn, enlighten others to wake up to, right? You have to find faith in the darkness, right? You gotta learn how to have the action without knowing what the outcome is gonna be. And fear is the opposite of having faith. We want the answer. We want instant gratification. We want to know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, there, who's going to be there, what time they're going to be there, who going to have this. We want to know too much. Sometimes you just got to let that shit flow. You got to learn how to go to, I'm hearing that damn Tony Braxton song again. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Faith is letting it flow. Faith is going with the ebb and flow and the function of the universe. It's just like the waves in water, right? It's always shh, shh, shh. It's up, constant up and down. Same thing with your heartbeat. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. That frequency. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Frequency, right? Learning to operate within your frequency to find your strength, right? So that you can make moves, to start trusting your intuition, right? Your intuition is like your conscience. It's your inner being, your inner self talking to you. Your higher self, your Ori, talking to you, telling you, yo, don't do this. Don't do that. It's all right. It's okay. Oh, your higher Ori might not be in the light. It might be the dark. Yo, go smack that bitch right there. Right? Go do that. Be bold. And sometimes being bold is not being bold in the right way. Sometimes we're being bold in the wrong way, in the wrong direction. It's up to you to determine what you are going to allow to be real to you. And with that being said, I'm going to end this message with just that. To determine what is real for you. What is the truth that you really want to see? What is the truth that you really deserve? Make your truth that you desire the truth that you deserve. The truth that really is what it is. A lot of times we be in denial and be real quick to be like, oh no, I didn't do that. Oh no, that I don't deserve this. This shouldn't be happening to me. And all the while you done stole, cut, steps. you done crossed, you done betrayed, you done slept with this one, that. You done did all this shit. And now you, oh, woe is me. Why is this happening to me? The fuck? You have to learn to deal with the repercussions. To balance it out, that means I got to own my good and my bad. I got to own the things I said that I shouldn't have said. I have to own the actions that I've taken that I shouldn't have taken. I have to own the behavior that I exuded that I shouldn't have exuded. Right? Balance that shit out so that you can begin acting fake. Now, what that also means too is that when you start to balance it, you start recognizing where you're wrong. That doesn't mean the road is over. No, now you didn't open a whole new different can of worms, because now you gotta deal with the repercussions of everything that's ever gone down. You gotta own that shit too. You gotta own your consequences to the actions that you took, the decisions that you made, the behavior that you exuded, the mannerisms that you exercised in. The ideations that you allowed yourself to be lost in. The lies you were telling yourself. You gotta own that shit. I did tell myself that. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I should have never told myself that. I forgave you, self, for telling yourself that, or for even believing that shit. I apologize for even talking to you like that, self. Right? I apologize for even talking to you like that, friend. I love you, body. I love you, mind. I love you, heart. I love you, voice. I love you, eyes. I love you, ears. I love you, nose. I love you, mouth. Learning to accept and honor and love you and know you. Now that, y'all gotta realize, whatever you put out is what you're going to get back. Karma is a real fucking thing. And some people are afraid because they know what the fuck getting ready to come. That's another one. That's a different perspective or vantage point. Because I was going to say view. Vantage pew. It's a different vantage point of fear, right? Because there's levels to the shit, right? There's levels to the shit. Sometimes we are fearful because of what we do see, what we were able to predict, what we're able to foresee or know that's coming. And sometimes we always fall. No, that shit ain't false. Sometimes it's afraid because it's like, I know it's coming and I feel it's coming. I don't know what's going to happen when it comes. I know it's coming though. I feel it. I don't like it. Now I'm afraid of it because you're anticipating that you're anticipating that action, that emotion is coming. So now you're building up all this stagnant, stuck, stored up energy inside, and you have no way of expressing it. Because a lot of times we're afraid to even talk about the problems that we have or the scenarios and situations that we've been in. Sometimes we are so ashamed and hurt or just in guilt or in turmoil about it, right? And we don't want to let it go. Because it's like, yo, if I let it go, this is the only norm that I had. This is the only thing that I do have to cling to. Sometimes that fear is your foundation. Sometimes that's what you were built on. I'm challenging you to build yourself on something else, right? Find another way to explore the unknown, right? You're not supposed to know everything. You're supposed to know what God wants you to know. You know what I'm saying? Ask God for the guidance. What am I supposed to know? What am I supposed to be paying attention to right now? Right? I do that shit every day. All right, Lord, what we doing today? How I'm rocking today? What we doing today? How I'm supposed to move today? Talk to my higher self. Talk to God. Right? What do I need to know about fear? Why am I waking up thinking about fear today, Lord? Who is afraid and who is being fearful right now, Lord? What is pertinent and prevalent about fear right now, Lord, that I need to be paying attention to, Lord? Is this my energy? Is it somebody else? And I got questions. I need answers. Right? That don't mean God gonna give it to you right then and there. God show when He's supposed to. Right? Christ consciousness shows up when it's supposed to. When it's at the it can be at the drop of a hat, right? Right? When it's supposed to show up. Like you say, he may not come when you want him, but he's always right on time. Christ consciousness is always right on time when you need it. Your miracles and your breakthroughs are always right on time when you need it. When you least expect it to show up, it comes. Right? You just got to rock with it, y'all. I bought these cards, but I'm not getting them. I'm gonna leave this right here with y'all. Leaving. Leaving. Walk away from what no longer serves you. People, places, things. Forgive them. Forgive yourself. Be different. Be better. Okay? Remember to always thine own self be true. With peace, love, and light, I'm always sending y'all. Peace, I share, I'm going to say. Peace. And that's the message for today, y'all. Peace.